Hey, this is Johnny Boy at Fight Hype. I'm here with the champ, Tim Bradley, man. Talk to me. What's going on, man? How you feeling?
Oh man, I'm out here in sunny California. See the sunshine out here, baby. I'm doing great, man. You know that. What's happening?
Man, I'm freezing here in New York, man. I envy you, man. You
Oh,
out there chilling.
sorry about that, man. I'm walking through. Sorry about that. Yeah, but I'm passing through, man. There was a dog right there, man. Go ahead, ask the question. I'm sorry.
No, it's all good. I wanted to get your thoughts. We were speaking about Brian Norman Jr. and Devin Haney. That exciting matchup coming up. They both have a lot to prove. What do you think about that? What are your thoughts on the fight?
Um, you know what? It's a damn good fight, man. It truly is. I tip my hat off to both these guys. Both these guys are young. Um, Norman Jr., 23 or 24 years old, bro. Haney's right in the midst of his prime. Norman's not even in his prime yet, but you can see the development and you can see the improvement of Norman's overall game, man, in his last three performances. Now that he's champion, man, and you have a guy that fought at 135, 140 pounds, now the camp and that moving up and wanting to fight him. Dude, that's impressive, man. Devin Haney is one of those guys that's always chasing, the smoke. He always want to fight and test himself against the best fighters in the world. We gonna find out if this calculation, right? This calculation of Haney is it spot on or did he make a mistake? Because the last time Haney was in the ring with a big puncher, and that was with Ryan Garcia. I know he was in the ring that was great, but I'm saying big puncher, somebody dangerous was Ryan Garcia, right? And that performance with Ramirez, he won the fight, but it wasn't that impressive, right? He got a lot of criticism, especially from me, the way he fought. I felt that he fought scared. He didn't look the same. It looked like he had a lot of residue from the fight with Ryan Garcia. He didn't want to get touched at whatsoever. So, he moved around the ring a lot, but didn't do a whole lot of punching. So it's going to be a very interesting fight, man, because Norman Jr., I feel like we haven't seen the best version of him yet. I feel that he continues to improve. We've never seen him in a ring with a boxer like this. I know he trains around boxers. I know he spars, guys like Terrence Crawford and you name it, the who's who in the business. But we've never officially seen him under the bright lights against a particular style like Haney, who can, make it tough. He's a tactician. And what I mean by that, if you don't know what a tactician is, Haney does what he needs to do at the right times. If he needs to tie you up, he'll tie you up. If he needs to move, he'll move. He knows when to. You know what I mean? He has a ton of experience, ton of amateur experience. And so, can he avoid getting hit? Can he avoid getting touched with that big boom? We're going to find out. But as far as who's going to win the fight, I think both guys have paths to winning this fight, man. Just like that Wardley fight and the Wardley and Joseph Parker fight. Both guys had a path to win. Wardley, hey, he was able to absorb what he needed to absorb and take what he needed to take, but shoot, Joseph Parker couldn't take what he dished out. So we gonna see.
Absolutely.
We definitely gonna see in this fight against Norman and Haney.
When the odds are going back and forth, one minute Devin Haney's the favorite, then Brian Norman Jr. Norman Jr. has that knockout punch power. He got rid of Jin Sasaki in that fight. What you said about Devin Haney boxing, he was on his toes. I think he was trying to get comfortable after the year layoff and the punishment that he took from Ryan Garcia, and then he got his confidence back. And I think we'll see a better Devin Haney now. I still believe he has one of the best jabs in boxing, and like you said, he's a tactician, he's a technician. He has those skills to win on points. It's interesting to see who's going to win this fight, but go moving forward, where does the winner go? Who should they fight next?
I mean, look, if Haney wins this fight, we definitely gonna have to revisit that pound for pound list. This would be another weight class that he won a world championship in. Another good name on his resume. I personally don't want to hear people talking about, well, Norman ain't fought nobody, and this. I don't want to hear that, man. I don't want to hear that. Norman is like the boogeyman of this division. You know what I mean? He's considered the best welterweight in boxing right now, amongst all boxing pundits, right? So, we want to give credit when credit is due. And then on the flip side of that, I don't want to hear nothing about Haney's ruined. You know what? We can think that, but I don't want to hear nothing. Whoever wins this and emerges from this fight, man, can definitely be a big star at 147 pounds, man, and will be the man to beat. Period. Will be the man to beat. So, but going from here, I don't know. They'll have options. They'll definitely have options. Norman, not sure how long he's gonna stay at 147 pounds. Maybe he's making it comfortably. Maybe he's not. I don't know. I'm not in this camp, but he can always go up to 154. There's always Boots that moved up there, and they were supposed to do it at 47, but he decided that, hey, it wasn't worth enough. It wasn't enough money for me. I'll wait on that. You got to remember, man, these guys are young, man. These guys are young. So they got options and they can take their time. They ain't got to rush anything. I see a lot of people giving Schofield hell for, pulling out another fight and all this stuff. And I'm like, man, do you know how old Schofield is? That man is 23 years old. And he's still a baby. He's still a baby. But I tell you this, he knocking them out like they grown man. He a baby, but he knocking them out like a grown man. Yeah, he in the ring. I'm telling you, he putting belt to ass. When he step in that ring, he knocking out everybody, right? So look, he born with the speed, born with the power. Okay, can he get his technique a little bit better? Of course. He's 23. He's a baby. All that stuff can improve. He not even in his prime yet, baby. You know what I'm saying? So, like, we talking about JoJo Diaz. Come on, man. JoJo Diaz been over the hill a long time ago. He ain't the same fighter no more. Reaches pro grade, just picked him to pieces. So, you put him in there with the young gun, like Schofield, who gonna be scared of JoJo Diaz? Nobody should be scared of JoJo Diaz. JoJo Diaz ain't what he used to be, So that should tell you. So, at the end of the damn day, let's go back to, well, let me just finish with this. A lot of people saying, yeah, he pulled out of this fight. Is he injured? Because you don't want to go in the fight hurt. You don't. I'm sorry. You don't want to go into a fight hurt.
All the fights that you've had, a lot of fighters have injuries, right? Most of their fights, and they just have to fight on. Like, you have the date, you schedule to fight that time.
Look, it's your choice at the end of the day. But I wouldn't advise anybody, right? If it's this far out, it makes sense, right? If it's close, you might have to, think about it. Like, man, I need both these hands in this fight, because it's dangerous inside that ring, man. And ain't nobody finna be sitting here and, accepting all these excuses if you don't win, And let me give you a prime example. Manny Pacquiao, when he fought against Floyd Mayweather, should have postponed it. If your shoulder wasn't great, you should have postponed it. Yeah. There ain't no damn excuse. That's just what it is. I've gone into fights with hurt ribs, you know what I'm saying? But my hands, the tools that I used wasn't hurt. This man hurt the tools that he uses. So it makes sense to postpone the fight or cancel the fight, right? He can always go back to that, man. Ain't no thing but a chicken wing. You feel me? So 23 years old, what we rushing for? What we rushing for, man? You don't need to rush.
So he'll take his time. But so if Brian Norman Jr. is successful, he wins. Right now, Manny Pacquiao is going to be fighting in January or February. They're saying that's a man you're very familiar with. Should they take the winner of the Pacquiao fight if he fights Barrios or whoever he fights?
You got Barrios and you got Rolly. That's who you got. And there's Manny Pacquiao as an option as well. Manny Pacquiao has decided to come back in the game. He already fought against Barrios, got a draw against Barrios, but it's a dangerous fight, man. I mean, with that age of Manny Pacquiao, of course, I think Manny Pacquiao comes back his second time around. I think he'll be a lot more suited, right? He was out of the ring for 4 years, and he came back and he fought this man Barrios, and he fought him to a draw. So a lot of people felt that he won the fight. Now imagine him having another camp, some months later, 6 months later, 8 months later. You know, he's gonna
He's
get
sharp.
sharper, right? You
Yeah.
know, so he's gonna be a lot stronger. He's gonna look a lot better, you know, than he looked in his fight against Barrios. So he's always dangerous, man. Pacquiao A, B, and C game is better than a lot of guys' A games, bro. Period. You know, and that heart that he fights with, you know, and all that experience he carries, he's always gonna be a tough out for anybody. So, but you know, look, that's the money guy. You know, how much credit you gonna get for beating a 47-year-old Manny Pacquiao? You might get some
Exactly.
bread. You might get some bread, you know. But look, the recognition that Pacquiao has is probably the best option. But shoot, collect them belts too. You got those options too. Cause you can collect them belts. You can go after Barrios. You can go after Rolly Romero, you know, and become undisputed in the weight class. So that's just it.
So Tim, if you had to pick a horse in the race, who's the best welterweight? Who's going to be undisputed at a 147?
I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know the division that well. I think the division is kind of weak, but there's somebody, they got to have some guys brewing, man. That we not talking about. You know, that's fighting and kind of behind the scenes. You know, they got to be some guy, man. You know, once we finish this conversation, I'm gonna go deep dive into 147-pound
Okay.
division, and I'm gonna look for the next, or possibly, you know, the next coming of somebody. Maybe there's a guy from 140 that can move up and you know, contest and be a big dog at 147 pounds. You know, so look, you know, gotta wait. I don't know who that is. They gotta fight it out, man. But as of right now, you know, just on paper, who has the best resume right now is Barrios, but Barrios is all right. Norman resume is all right, but it's not better than Barrios. Who else we got? Rolly. Rolly's not that bad. I mean, look, man, I don't know. They all got to fight. They all got to fight.
Exactly.
Damn it. Yeah, they all got to fight. Or it might be or it might be Devin Haney. It
It
just
might be
might just
done.
be Devin Haney if Devin Haney get past Norman Jr. So yeah.